Oh, dude, when we first moved here, me and my buddy Paul, we slept in the Ballpit over on Wilshire. The McDonald's Ballpit over off of Wilshire. Yeah, we jump in there at night.
You're lying.
No, we jump in there at night. Get in the Ballpit because it was safe. That was the biggest thing. Sure.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Anytime your buddy would move, it'd make all the noise, all the balls. Like go
yeah, the big move.
Yo, hey, Paul, quit moving, dude.
Get settled, yeah.
That was like the lowest level of Jeffrey Epstein's Island, sleeping in a McDonald's ball pit. It's like the poorest pedophile move.
That was the biggest. The hard part was
basically sleep in a float tank.
And you just have to keep moving down to get through all the balls. And
but it's kind of comfy, though, huh?
Oh, it was cozy. The bottom's cozy. The third night, bro, me and my buddy Paul are in there just laying, and you would get like under the balls. The worst part was the problem is you don't realize how much hair and coins is in there.
No, I realize it. Yeah. And there's because he can't clean those balls.
Well, it's definitely like their own little fucking McWuhan out there. I'll say that.
You're dead serious right now?
Dead serious.
This is amazing.
And the third night we're in there, we're talking just like we had been the past 2 nights. We would go at night and jump over the fence and fucking sleep in there and then leave early. Some Asian guy is sleeping on the slide. And we didn't even fucking know.
God.
Oh, wow. Just on the slide?
Yeah, we didn't know. Like, we're in there being loud, and he's like, quiet down.
Hey, if you're going to be in here, pipe down.
He's like, would you quiet down? Like,
Let me ask you a question. Was there no security?
He was German Asian.
Did no one in the McDonald's care?
It was shut down.
How did you get in?
You just jump right over the fence and you're in the ball pit.
It's an outdoor ball pit.
Yeah, not indoors, you fucking
weirdo. Dude, I never saw an outdoor ball pit in my life.
Yeah, and also, how is that safe?
Well, because first of all, you're in a place, no one's going in there.
At what point did you say to yourself, this is not a sustainable course of action?
Oh, dude.
Like, at what point, when you're under the balls and you're sleeping in some hair of whatever,
your head out.
You keep your head out of the balls. That's a real moment. That's a real moment. And you're like, when your head's out of the balls, you're like, God, I hope this works out.
I mean, dude, yeah, I could go down to my old town and go in on a Saturday, I think, on the street that I grew up on, and I think you would still see people out living their lives.
When I was young, we had a bus driver, dude. He picked us up one day, and he didn't even take us to school, bro. This dude, Millford. He just drove us around and then just drove us back home eventually.
What's wrong with him?
He didn't say anything either.
Probably drunk.
And about 30 minutes into it, we're like, we ain't even going to school, bro. We were just on
taking y'all to do something weird. That's what he was about to take
no, he was just driving. I think he was trying to stay away from his wife. And when at a certain point, you don't ask. And I think
But why not just take y'all to school and then he drive by
bro.
himself?
That wasn't on his mind, man. He had different shit on his mind.
His name is Milford?
His name was Milford, bro. Dude, we had a woman named Dot Wall was one of our bus drivers.
Dot Wall?
Dot Wall, dude. 7 letters, baby. That's what she used to say. That was her motto after she'd say her name. 7 letters, baby. Beat that. That's what she would say.
Lucky 7. Lucky 7.
I mean, I remember one of our teachers tried to only teach us. They only had 18 letters in the alphabet. Dude.
Wait, are you...
People still don't. They never really had a plan for everybody to meet and like get together and how to know each other. When I was growing up, not a lot of people could read like they can now. Like in our area, we didn't really grow up like in the reading area, I guess, of the U.S. or some parts. I grew up in like kind of like a
non-reading area.
Yeah, more like a non-verbal belt. Do you remember learning about how like a neighborhood worked? Remember that? Like what amazes me in like education, they don't teach you how to get along with anybody. You know, like they teach you how to spell. Like I don't give a fuck if fucking Latrell can spell. You know.
Actually, for real, how a city or neighborhood works.
Okay.
That should be class.
I want to know how can Latrell and I relate to each other.
Sure.
You
Sure,
know,
man.
like, where's that class? You know.
And we call that what?
Just basically street beats.
All right, cool. I like that. It's a good class name. Also, if the class names were hip.
Yeah.
If the class names were hip like that, I would be in it, man.
Yes, sir. I'd take street beats, boy.
AP Street Beats.
Yeah, AP Street Beats, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, Larry got a tattoo.
Now, why did Larry get a tattoo? Right, yeah. So...
being regular. I remember the day we moved in, you used to have ditch fires in our town, really, where you burn all your shit in the ditch on the weekend.
Just leaves, dude, and probably some recyclables. But this is before they had recyclables. This is back when you could burn whatever,
Anything.
dude. And just let the moon take a hit off your noxious gases,
let it fuck.
Really saves. I don't know how bad it is for the
Oh,
environment.
it's pretty bad.
But it's...
I mean, I think that's what they're doing with it ultimately.
Okay, right. But somebody threw this old man, Mr. Polito, into the ditch fire. He got in a fight with some younger guy from down the street.
And we had a man named Milford King who wore no shirt. 2 days he wore no shirt and drove us to school.
Wow.
Big guy,
I
red
like
hair.
Milford. That's cool.
He was wild. I saw him throw a senior citizen into a ditch fire and the man died.
Threw a 70-year-old man into a ditch, dude.
Like, but how
the
important?
day we pulled up.
He threw a senior citizen into
were
a
fighting,
ditch
bro.
fire.
There's a fight in the street. There's old guys.
There's fires like it's apocalypse, and some guy's throwing old men in. You're
There's somebody
like,
throwing old men in the street.
Dude, if you ever
Game of
find
fries, bro. Game of
fighting
fries,
next
dude.
to a ditch fire.
Gary Polito. And Gary Polito came out that fire, bro. Came out that fire on fire, still swinging at Milford. He was maybe 200% Italian.
Dude,
Well, fast forward a couple of years, that man died. Mr. Polito died. So we're like, next thing you know, we're sitting there at a freaking funeral, dude. They put him in the backyard, and people are saying prayers and shit.
wait, how far? Like, how poor did you grow up?
We grew up poor, man. I mean, I think our rent was $150 a month. Single mom. So I miss that, and I miss just the weird shit that would happen, man. Like I told you, I grew up in a stray animal belt, so there's a lot of animals that live by a highway. A lot of animals would get hit by cars. They had this highway right next to our apartment building, and I'd go out there, and me and my buddy would go out there. So on Saturday, we'd go out there and pull the bodies off and bury them, get them right. Right?
Holy shit.
It's just funny.
But also, when you grow up poor, especially, growing up poor and white, like, I
healthy way
remember
to think.
the richest guy I knew would drive by our neighborhood. He was a veterinarian. Somebody would drive by and throw dead animal, some veterinarian who was saving money, cutting corners, throw dead animals into the ditch. And he would throw dead animals into the ditch outside of our apartment complex.
Like dogs and cats?
Yeah, dogs,
Yeah, for a sec, I still couldn't tell if we were talking like metaphorically or we're talking about literally stray fucking animals. So I get it.
Real animals from God, bro. Straight out there in the street.
And I remember we would throw like carcasses, like Cossacks, and like, so we'd be out there throwing fucking calf vertebrae at each other and shit.
Fun.
And playing football with like a Cossacks of some kind of damn animal.
Literally, they were fucking piling up.
We're talking Rottweilers. We're talking, just uncared for children,
Junkyard.
which almost classify.
What else? I think something else. One time, this thing looked like a damn small bear, bro. And it could have been. Dude, because they have Louisiana black bears, a lot of things. And I'm not saying they're black or anything like that. I'm just saying they happen to be black when people see them.
It's a real scene from True Detective. Your entire childhood.
But just like...
Real.
You're describing the behavior of serial killers.
Yeah.
But when you're poor, it's just fun.
And here we were, go deep, dude. I got a sternum.
Go deep.
It was
I
just
gotta
a different...
Dude, when we worked together in San Francisco, and you sat down and you told a solid 8-minute story about that Mexican man that went to school with you.
Oh, I was talking about the first Mexican kid we had in our town, right? Like, I remember the first time we had a Mexican dude ever come to our school. We got a Latino. Yeah.
Not a family, just one kid.
Congratulations. One guy. Oh, yeah.
I'm on the floor.
But the thing that happened was this Mexican kid moved in named Nick, right? Came to our school during sex ed, I remember. He came in the classroom. Nicholas was his name, and he had a little bit of light facial hair.
Nicholas,
Everybody was fired up about that. I remember. Fired. There was a lot of rumors and stuff going around about that. Yeah. And nobody had ever seen a Mexican kid in our town or whatever, Wow. Because, people had never seen that on children, It was like... Would be light hair on the face? Yeah, like in science, they also taught you sex ed, right? So I remember he held up his hand during sex ed, and he's like, "Hey, Mr. Blackwell, what does pop that cherry mean?" That's what he said. He asked the fucking teacher like as serious as could be, like that was the first question anybody, at first of us, any of it ever heard a Mexican kid talk in our life, right? What does pop that cherry mean? And then he. And so then everybody kind of like gravitated to learn about him. He ended up banging some girl like in 6th grade, right? And she broke up with him, broke his heart. And then he started telling people he was a rapper. And he started to like rap music, and he wore this T-shirt that said Nick the Rapper that he wrote on it with a marker, right? He wrote on a white T-shirt with a marker, but he wrote Raper. On accident, he forgot a P, but he only put one P in it, and it said Nick the Raper on it, the fucking shirt that he wore, and they fucking expelled him.
Yeah, raper.
Yeah, and they fucking wrote Raper, and they expelled him. That was the first Mexican we ever had. But see, Mexican didn't play a part in it. He was a bad speller, and he fucking was asking stupid questions. What does pop that cherry mean?
Pop that cherry.
Remember that saying? You don't hear that anymore, dude.
You never hear that.
Never hear that shit.
I don't know. That's a lot of pressure.
Dude, I'll tell you
That's
this.
more pressure than voting.
Buddy of mine, okay, first time my buddy got some trim, right? We went to prom or something, some dance. Sadie Hawkins or something, you gotta wear the same shirt, right? Yeah. He, after a dance, had a girl come over, a beautiful girl, man. Shout out Scott Satchel. The guy was just the ladies' man, dude. And he ended up touching this girl's vagina, pussy.
Yeah.
And
And then we all were sitting around this fire at his house later, and so he's like, you know, telling everybody what happened.
Like the first time ever in our childhood. And it's safe. It's a human crotch, you know, nothing insane. And my buddy's dad comes out there by the fire and is like...
And smelled his fingers by the fire.
Oh.
For probably like 40 minutes. Is that nuts?
How terrible would that be? If
Yeah.
he did it?
Oh,
over and over again until we all went to bed.
Oh, that dad has a problem, huh?
I don't know. Basically massaging my buddy's hand that he touched the girl's crotch with, like real dark stuff going on.
And then, bro, he made him kind of stay out there. And I remember being inside, like looking out the window, and he was still out there smelling.
You're like, what's all those fingers that smell so good, you know?
What do you do? Gnarly, right? And and then the same night, bro, I was sleeping in this guy's room, and he had a bunch of pets stacked up along the walls because he loved all kinds of pets.
So anyway, that night we have to sleep at my buddy's house, right? And he had like 15 snakes in his room.
Wow.
In cages. And dude, I'd never knowingly slept within probably almost 50 miles of a snake, because that's where the zoo was closest to us.
Mm-hmm. And there was 5 of us sharing a bed, right? And all night, bro, I can't sleep, right? I'm scared of all these animals, bro, and I can't sleep, right? And so sleep all in his bed, and we would sleep body different ways, like head to feet,
toe,
head to feet,
nuts to butts.
I'm just thankful that this dog keeps barking, man. I'm so high that there's this dog outside the window keeps barking all night because I'm awake. I can't sleep, right? All the other 4 kids in his bed are asleep.
And I remember he turned this, I'm laying there, we all have to sleep in his bed. I'm laying there and he turns the ceiling fan on. He had the fastest ceiling fan I've ever heard in my life. And yet, dude, his dad had done the ceiling fan in his room, and this thing was illegally powered.
You've seen those ones that are like, is that going to fall off? It's like, yeah, it's going.
I think it ran on kerosene or something. It was really, it was authentic, man. So suddenly every snake I feel like is just wide awake.
And he had a big ceiling fan in the middle of the room that was spinning, right? So it's like whirling up all these pets, right?
terrible.
And even though we can sleep, it's keeping them awake. Because you got to think, a ceiling fan for a pet, that's got to be like, you know, a fucking tornado going off constantly, right? We don't think about that, you know? And in the middle of the night, their dog was barking all night. And thankfully, this dog barks every now and then. It keeps me company, right? Even though it's outside. And then you hear boom, 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 boom. And the dad went out there and put a bullet right in its head.
Oh, my God.
Killed the dog right outside the fucking window. Boom! Went back to sleep, dude. Same dude that hours earlier had been smelling a young man's hand, man. Same man.
Yeah, that's dark.
That's super dark.
So Curtis,
oh fuck,
we had this kid named Curtis, bro. Yeah,
that's life
get
lesson,
your fucking
son.
shit together,
It's
Andrew.
over.
Nah.
Welcome to this burning target, motherfucker.
Get your fucking microphone out now, man.
Here's what I'm saying.